Well, now I'd like to introduce my wonderful team, the Colorado Green Business Network. So next slide, please. So today, Francis, Oakley, Raina, and myself make up the Colorado Green Business Network, and we are really excited to give you a bit more information on our program, the services we offer, how to get recognized at the state level, and some best practices for your application. So next slide, please. We have kind of a short little promo video we'd like to show you all that we got made, and it's super nice. So kind of gets a good feel of who we are and what we do.
The Colorado Green Business Network works with businesses all across our state of every size and every type, at every stage in their push towards true operational sustainability.
There are 3 key things we offer to our members. There's technical assistance, which includes a free on-site assessment of opportunities and tools to reduce resource use, as well as ongoing coaching and support from our green business specialists, just so you don't have to do this alone.
There's recognition that we provide for the great work that our members are doing. We offer a Colorado Green Business Network certification at bronze, silver, and gold levels, as well as additional awards for innovative projects.
And there's community to grow and learn together. We offer workshops and events for skill building and networking. Our businesses support each other with the common goal of preserving Colorado's resources.
We're a network of businesses that want to do our part and bring others on the journey toward a more sustainable future.
Awesome. Well, I'd like to hand it over to my colleague Francis to go over a little bit about our program structure.
Thank you so much, Alicia. Hello, everyone. My name is Francis Otero. Thank you for being here. In this section of the presentation, we are going to speak to how the network can support your efforts to increase the efficiency of your operations and to be part of businesses leading the efficiency and green movement in Colorado. Our goal is to support organizations of any size, any type, and any industry in increasing the efficiency and sustainability of their operations, regardless of their current knowledge in sustainability. Our program has 2 tiers. One is technical assistance, and the other one is recognition. And we provide free technical assistance and ongoing coaching to all of our members. And we also recognize and award organizations that go above and beyond in implementing green practices, as well as those that have just started to reduce their resource use and implementing sustainability. Next slide, please. So to be a support level member, organizations only have to register in Green Business Tracker, which is our application platform and management system. And no additional application or evaluation is required. And this level is intended to acknowledge and support organizations that are just starting their sustainability journey. Once you sign up, you'll be contacted by one of our green business specialists who will provide ongoing assistance and coaching throughout the application process or as needed. As a support level member, you also enjoy many benefits and access to resources. Again, no membership fees are required because we are a free statewide program. And we also offer recognition, and we have 3 levels: bronze, silver, and gold, based on a rating system. And to be recognized, businesses must complete and submit all surveys in Green Business Tracker, where businesses report on their green practices and resource reduction metrics. The application deadline is June 30th this year, and we will expand on the benefits of recognition a bit later in the presentation. As mentioned before, we offer free on-site technical assistance to all of our members that request it, and provide them with a comprehensive assessment report that contains a lot of recommendations, opportunities, and local and statewide resources that would support the implementation of sustainable practices. Our reports are tailored to each business's needs and goals, and can also be used as a roadmap for continual operation and improvement, meaning that you can always refer back to it for ideas and further guidance on how to go about implementing green practices. And the benefit of implementing sustainable practices is that your businesses will reduce operational costs, save on resources, have less compliance issues, increase productivity, employee retention, and customer preference, and among many others. Our program also offers networking events, monthly newsletters, sustainability workshops, connection to local and statewide funding opportunities, mentoring programs, and all of these are resources that we support businesses for free. And yes, these are some of the advantages of any member at any level of within the network. And in terms of additional support, we also provide direct installation of resource efficiency devices when we go on site, and this is just as applicable during our site visits. Again, we connect businesses with state and local programs, and we've also started to explore the implementation of the Small Business Equity Fund pilot program, just because we would like to have a bigger reach and support small businesses in disproportionately impacted communities by providing them with access to all of these local resources, as well as funding opportunities for energy efficiency upgrades. And with that, I will pass it to Alicia so she expands on the benefits of recognition. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Frances. Yeah, so not only does our program offer technical assistance, as Frances outlined, but we also provide that state level recognition. So our application, as she mentioned, is a point-based rubric with 3 possible levels of certification. We have bronze, silver, and gold. And again, our applications are due on June 30th every year. And I'll go a little bit more into detail on our points-based application in the next couple slides. So next slide, please. So recognition at the state level comes with many benefits in addition to just being considered an industry leader in sustainability. So recognition in our program comes with statewide recognition benefits, such as, you receive a governor signed certificate, you get window decals to hang on your windows at your facility, and then you also receive a CGBN press kit that includes logos to add to your emails and website, and different social media posts for you to get the word out about your achievements in sustainability. So there is that kind of branding side of recognition that we appreciate all of our members to do. There's also operational improvements, which means you're able to continually improve, innovate, and anticipate trends in the industry and in regulations, since as a state, we have connections with our regulatory team. You increase productivity, customer preference, employee retention, while also reducing costs and avoiding those compliance issues. Being a part of the CGBN community means that, we're here to help you with every aspect of your sustainability journey, including dealing with those compliance side of everything. And then lastly, you will get additional state support, including letters of recommendations for grant or funding opportunities. So say that there's a grant or an opportunity out there that you want to get the funding for, we can kind of write you that letter of recommendation to get you at the top of their list. We also provide priority permitting, mentoring from other CGBN members, and then those newsletters that Frances mentioned. And then you also get the opportunity to speak on our panel in any of our workshops. So Mike is a really good example of that. And then you're also able to participate in our statewide recognition event, which is a great event to be a part of. And so all of these are kind of great examples of the benefits that you gain from being a part of this program, in addition to becoming a sustainable business in Colorado. Next slide, please. Thank you. So as mentioned, a great benefit of recognition is our statewide recognition event, which is we host every September. And it's a wonderful opportunity to receive extra awards in sustainability, network with local programs, and connect with your CGBN community. So it's a really fun in-person event to be able to meet your community, network, get to know a lot of the partner organizations in person. So a lot of our members really appreciate the community aspect of the program and find that to be the most beneficial part of becoming a CGBN member. You always have somebody to ask, somebody to mentor and connect with on your journey towards true operational sustainability. Next slide, please. So a little bit more on our application structure and what that looks like. We have two focus areas for our application. It's going to be policy and leadership and resource reduction. So our policy and leadership section of the application goes over questions based on implemented sustainability policies, employee engagement, community equity, and then innovation projects and goals. And that's going to be kind of that left green side. And then the resource reduction section touches on kind of those metrics and seeing those actual reductions over time in energy, water, waste, and transportation. And so here is kind of where we ask for those real-time numbers comparing your baseline, which is, kind of the year before any sustainability projects were implemented. And we kind of compare that to your current year data to see those reductions over time as you start implementing those sustainability projects. And as mentioned, the application is points-based, and we offer around 383 points on the table. As you can see here, bronze is going to be 25 points, silver is 50, and then gold is 100. So as you can see, you really don't need all points to certify, and we really did this on purpose to appeal to the differences in each organization, including size and sector. So our application is really across sector, so you don't have to answer each and every question if it does not pertain to your organization, and we wanted to keep it that way, just to keep it open and across sectors so that you don't need all the points to certify, just in case that doesn't apply to your organization. Next slide, please. So some other things about our application structure, we also have an annual reporting requirement for our certified CGBN members. So these annual reports are much shorter versions of the application. Again, they are going to be due each year by June 30th, but this is only going to be for certified CGBN members. So you don't have to fill out a full application each year. You just get kind of a small subset of the questions of, current year data and all that type of stuff, just to kind of, give us some updates on how you're doing. And it kind of, gets you to push for, to better understand your numbers year over year. And then those new applications for CGBN members are due June 30th as well, but the annual report is just going to be for those certified CGBN members. And I also wanted to mention that our application also allows a corporate-based recognition for organizations with multiple in-state facilities. So as long as each of your facilities has centrally managed policies and practices, your whole corporation can get recognized by only filling out one single application for all facilities. So, say you're a big corporation, you have a bunch of facilities in Colorado, we allow you to kind of, mark yourself as a corporate-based recognition or multiple site facility recognition, and you only have to fill out one single application for all of your facilities. So just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that as well. Next slide. And then lastly, I also wanted to mention that as a part of our recognition process, each organization has to go through a compliance check in order to be recognized. We ask that as an organization looking to be certified at the state level in sustainability, you are in compliance with the state requirements from our regulatory team. So as you can see, we ask that bronze and silver members have a year of no serious violations, and then we ask that gold members have 3 years of no serious violations. And so if we do find violations or lapses in required permits, the application compliance division is asked to kind of weigh in on the severity of the violation and kind of recommend next steps. So in terms of the surveys, we do have 4 surveys. So we have the welcome survey, which is going to kind of go over, square footage, just a little bit of information, just so you kind of understand your organization. And then the second one is that policy and leadership that I mentioned. The third is the resource reduction. And then the fourth is going to be the submission agreement. And so this is where you will accept the terms of this compliance requirement and allow us to kind of move forward with your application process and then the compliance check. So as a quick reminder, we will not review your application until the submission agreement is completed and submitted. Awesome. So now I'd like to pass it on to Raina to talk a little bit more about how to apply for recognition.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Raina Oliker. I'm the administrator for the Colorado Green Business Network. Before I jump into this, I just want to name I have seen a couple of our members on the call. It's fantastic to see you all here. We're focusing a lot on the application process today because we get a lot of questions about it. And so we wanted to spend a little time here.
Hey, Raina, it's kind of hard to hear you. Is that true for you too, Alicia?
Oh, okay. Is this better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Hold the microphone up. So yeah, I wanted to name that, we're answering a lot of questions about the application today, but the technical assistance that we do, I think, is a really valuable aspect of the program that we spend a little bit less time on. And I just wanted to name that if you're a current member, we also provide technical assistance to get you from, let's say, bronze to silver or silver to gold, or even if you are at that gold level and you're trying to figure out what's next, right? Like Mike shared with Arapahoe Ski Basin, or I know Bivouac Coffee was on the call. I think we can also kind of help you brainstorm what else is available for you. So lots of props to the technical assistance side of the program. I think it's really helpful. But let's say you do want to apply for recognition. We're going to talk a little bit about what that looks like, what the program looks like, and some tips that we've seen in the application that help get extra points where they might be available. So the first thing I want to mention is Green Biz Tracker. This is the new software that we've started using just last year for our application. And it's a fantastic program because it's a nationally used software for green business programs. It provides a really streamlined web-based interface for businesses to interact with. It has progress tracking capabilities, and it also has profile templates. So once a business is recognized, they actually get a published profile on the Green Biz Tracker directory, which allows folks nationwide to look up their organization and to see the information that they enter in their profile. So it's a really fantastic program for this type of use. To register for this, you can do it a number of different ways. You can go to our website. We also have a lot of resources on our website, including, like Francis was sharing, recordings from previous trainings, lists of rebate opportunities, and links to our partner websites, things like that. But on our technical assistance page is where you can find the link to Green Biz Tracker. You can also scan this QR code if this is something that you haven't done yet and you're interested in kind of looking around the Green Biz Tracker website. And this will basically just take you to our registration page where you'll enter in some initial business information, size, sector, things like this. And that will get you signed in to Green Biz Tracker and registered so that you can start working on our surveys. So this is the surveys tab that you'll see when you log in to Green Biz Tracker. And we basically have 4 surveys that represent the body of our application. We have our welcome survey, which, like Alicia mentioned earlier, is kind of the one thing that you need in order to get technical assistance. It basically just gives us information about who you are, how your business works, and what kind of support you're looking for so that we can reach out to you and follow up on those specific things. It also gets you connected to our newsletter, to all of those additional resources, because we didn't want there to be a barrier for support, right? So all you really have to do is express interest and tell us about who you are, and we provide you with as many resources as we can. The recognition application is then those next 3 surveys. So it's policy and leadership, resource reduction, and then the submission agreement, which is basically our go ahead to kind of move through your application and score it. And like Alicia mentioned, we don't review applications until that submission agreement is submitted, because we do have folks who want to maybe spend more than a year working on their application, or maybe they fill out the application initially and decide they want technical assistance. So that's kind of our green light that says you're ready, you're happy with the way your application looks, and you want to move forward. In terms of the surveys, like I mentioned, they're all web-based. They auto-save every time you click that next button. It'll save your progress so that you don't have to fill it out all at once. You can kind of go back as you have time. And there are multiple question types. So this is an example of a multiple choice question. The criteria section under each question at the bottom of the application provides an overview of what we're looking for. And we also have a section at the top now that gives you a sense for how many points are available for each question. We also have a technical manual. So if you do find a question that you're kind of wondering about and you don't know how to answer, the technical manual is a really good reference guide where you can actually look up each question and you can get specific information on how we evaluate it, how the points are assigned, what the criteria looks like and what we're looking for, as well as some links to different resources and support opportunities if that's something that you need. So in terms of a few things we see on the applications, the biggest thing that I think people are intimidated by is our metrics sections. So one of the things that we provide a lot of points for is reductions over time. So we're encouraging businesses to start tracking their data, right? One of the things that I've heard a lot is if it's not tracked, it's not managed, right? So if we're not tracking our energy use, how do we know when our energy use goes up or down? So we're really encouraging businesses to start tracking their data and looking for trends so that they can get a better sense of what's happening in their operation, and then they can impact that change. And we actually have Iconergy, who's going to be here after the break, talking about how to get started with benchmarking and data tracking for those of you who feel like this is kind of a big task to take on. But the general thing to know about our data tracking metrics is we know that this is something that happens more and more over time. We don't expect you to have all of your metrics perfect on the first try. If you're at the bronze level, you actually probably don't need metrics in order to get recognized. The bronze level is really designed to be an entry point for businesses to get started. They've maybe started doing a couple projects. They have policies in place, but they're still working on organizing that data. Totally okay. That's part of what we're here to help you with. But you don't need all of this information in here the first time. We're just kind of asking you to get started and to put in what you have. But we're asking for two sets of data. We're asking for baseline data and current year data. Your baseline data is going to be whatever that first year of tracking is. So let's say you started tracking your data. In this case, on this slide, we have 2007. That's the year that you would put in, right? And you ideally want to be tracking your data before you do lots of significant upgrades, because that way you can see that change over time, right? If I started replacing my lights in 2008, 2007 is a great year for a benchmark, because then ideally I can see those changes happening over, through my utility bills and my utility data. One thing we also get a lot of questions about is use intensity formulas. Basically what these are is it's dividing by a number that impacts your energy use over time. So in this case, we're looking at a brewery, and it would be barrels of beer produced. And this is just a way of normalizing your data so that, let's say your business doubles over the past year. Congratulations, that's amazing. If your production doubles, your energy use is going to go up no matter what you do to try and reduce your energy use, right? So this is a way that we allow you to tell that story. And you can see in this case that energy use intensity did go down, even though total energy use and production went up. So it's a way that you can continue to tell that story. So if that's your case, if you're a growing organization, don't be afraid to enter in that data, and also to reach out to us. We're happy to help you brainstorm what a good use intensity variable will be for you. Another place I just wanted to mention really quickly in our application is our projects, goals, and community engagement section. These are sections that you'll be filling out every year as a member. So they're part of our annual report because they probably change every year. And it's a place where you can list and really get credit for where you're spending a lot of your time more qualitatively. So what projects are you working on? They don't need to have metrics tied to them. It's really more about where are you putting your effort in terms of trying to reduce resource use, trying to be a more sustainable organization. It might be a metrics-based project like light replacement, but it could also be policy. And we want you to be able to get credit for that and to tell that story. So these are the questions that we have for that. We also have that goals section. And again, if you're doing a lot of community engagement work, some organizations, that's the majority of where you're spending your time. So we have a set of questions as well that relate to community engagement, to education and outreach, and to philanthropy, so that you can get some points in those categories as well. And last, I just wanted to again mention that submission agreement. That's the place where you acknowledge that there will be a compliance check. We never want to do a compliance check before you feel comfortable with it. So that's part of why we have that submission agreement. It's also the place where you can provide us with some of your permit information for that compliance check. So that's the other reason why that exists there and is kind of the last step in your application process. Again, I want to underscore this process is meant to really acknowledge the fact that sustainability is a process of continual improvement. So we're really looking at what can we do next? How can we improve over time? What are you working on? And really helping you through that process from bronze to silver to gold to wherever you want to go next. We're here as a partner in that work. So I would say don't worry too much about the application. It's handy to kind of go through and fill out what you can. And then you can always reach out to us to see what you can do better, how the application looks. One of the things that I did want to mention we've implemented this past year is performance assessments. So if you're filling out the application, let's say I see a message to me in the chat about legacy membership. Let's say you're an ELP legacy member and you're working on your application for this year, you can request a performance assessment, which basically looks like this kind of pulled report here, where we go through your application and we give you a preliminary score. And that's a way of providing you with that initial information about what your application would look like if you submitted it exactly the way that it looks right now. And that's minus compliance checks, minus our whole process. So it's not a guarantee of that level, but it is an evaluation of your current score. And we do this from January to April each year and October to December of each year. After April is when we kind of get the bulk of our applications. And so we can't do that for everybody who applies in kind of like the heat of our application cycle each year. But when we can, we like to be able to pull this report. It can be coupled with a site visit. So if you'd like to have us come out and look at the facility as part of this process, we're happy to do that. Or it can be just available as like a one-on-one virtual meeting where we review your score with you. But either way, feel free to reach out to us to chat. And we're happy to be able to go through this report with you and give you a sense for where are you lacking points, where are there places you could spend more time on your application, what's some low-hanging fruit that you could implement, right? Because again, the application is meant to represent best practices across industry. So if you don't have, let's say, a purchasing policy, you can get points in our application for that. It's also just a really good practice to have. So the application is really meant to be both. It's meant to acknowledge you for what you're currently doing and also give you ideas for things that you can do that you maybe haven't implemented yet. So we encourage you to see it as a learning opportunity and a process, and not to be too worried if you can't answer every question in detail, because it's really designed for that continual improvement process, if that makes sense. So if you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll answer them as we continue to go on. We will have a short Q&A at the end of the day as well, but we kind of like to double up these kickoff events as opportunities for you all to learn from each other, which is why we have our businesses presenting throughout the day. Also, we have tons of partners presenting throughout the day so that you get an opportunity to hear about funding opportunities, about grant opportunities that are upcoming, about technical assistance that's offered. So please, feel free to kind of take notes on our partner organizations throughout the day. And we're always going to be here at the end as well for a Q&A. So as you put your comments in the chat, we'll respond to them. And we're also always happy to respond by email as well. So main takeaway today is that we're absolutely here to support you wherever you are in this journey, and that we're looking forward to working with all of you as you move forward.